Do you ever feel like you have to bottle all of your complaints up? Do you ever feel like your complaints are not justified? I am really delighted to talk in this week for our Heart Magic Monday about sacred venting. And the reason why I want to talk about sacred venting is that none of us feel like we have permission to actually truly indulge ourselves in a really good complaining session. And the reason why I want to talk about this is that I've been working with a few people lately and seeing myself and a few friends and my husband, who's doing this as well, that when we experience undesirable conditions, when we are experiencing turbulence and experiences that we do not wish to be experiencing, we kind of often feel like we just have to suck it up and press on and stay positive and not complain. But I really want to advocate for the virtues of the sacred vent, and I'm going to be explaining why in today's Heart Magic Monday. So welcome to those who are joining Heart Magic Monday for the first time. My name is Lysa Black. I'm a heart healer, a highly sensitive empath. And what that allows me to do is gives me the superpower of being able to read hearts. So I have the ability to feel how other people feel in my own body, and this allows me to truly comprehend them, to understand them on a soul level so that I can help them remember the truth of who they are, help them understand how to serve and support themselves in this world. There's a lot of messages about who we're meant to be and who we're supposed to be, and also to be able to guide them to be able to heal their own hearts. And a lot of people don't really understand that there's a tandem aspect to complaining. And many of you know that I have talked before about the woe is me. And this is the master complainer. The problem is that the woe is me is complaining or sacred venting in its shadow form. So the woe is me is actually an energy or a part of all of us that actually complains so bitterly because deep down we really believe as that we're not worthy or we're not warranted or not permitted to actually express our true soul's complaints. And what this actually breeds within us is a kind of sense of suppression and a sense of kind of silent mumbling where it kind of just is harbored within us. And I actually want to suggest that that is really dangerous to our physical and emotional health, and that if we can actually permit ourselves to truly step into the sacred vent and go, I don't like this, I'm hating this right now, I'm really angry because of this, this makes me miserable, and actually fully permit this really honest, authentic expression that, remember, it's not definitive, it doesn't have to be for always, it's just what's showing up and expressing itself through us right now, that we actually have this cathartic experience that takes the woe is me energy and transforms it into the sacred vent, which then has the capacity to become the change agent. That the shadow aspect is the woe is me. It's this suppressed mumbling and grumbling where we're really not permitted to complain vilely about what we're really not liking about life right now, that we don't want to be judged or ostracized from others. We don't want to be labeled as complainers or moaners or negative people that have too much stuff going on. And what that means is that it all gets compressed and congested and lodged within us. What I'm suggesting is that the shadow aspect of the woe is me actually has a light aspect of being a magnificent change agent. That if no one ever had a truly sacred vent and purged all of the feelings around what they don't like in their life, would we ever reach the conclusion of what we needed to change, what we needed to do something about, or what we needed to speak up against? I really want to advocate this because it's something that I have really struggled with myself. Obviously, I'm in an industry where healers are really hearing the true reality of what humans are experiencing in the world. So in my sacred client sessions, I'm actually really, really listening to some of the horrific experiences that have befallen some of the other people on the planet. And I feel very privileged to be able to witness this, but I really do hear the sentiment very strongly that we shouldn't complain and we shouldn't express it. And so what that means is that these experiences become very secret. And what that means is that they become quite lodged within us. So I want to advocate for the sacred vent. Let me describe what the sacred vent actually looks like. You can do this by yourself. It's safer and easier by yourself because our sacred venting might not be understood or comprehended by our loved one or our friend, or definitely don't recommend this to a stranger on the street. But I really get my pen out and I start with I feel. And I feel angry because I don't like the way that my daughter is speaking to me. And so that's just a recent experience in our family that we've just come back from a holiday and my daughter has been speaking up about what she wants, but not talking to us respectfully. And so that has needed to be clarified. And so anger surged up within me and I was able to really clarify that she needs to talk to us nicely and respectfully, and that will absolutely fulfill her request as we can, how we can. And really, really important that if I didn't complain about that to myself, I also would not have given myself the power to take action, to be able to realign the situation, to be able to support her to feel heard, support myself to feel respected, and actually come up with a new operating procedure where she can actually ask for what she wants without raising her voice or without becoming critical. So what do you think? What do you think about having a sacred vent? I start by saying I feel, and then I talk about why. And in a sacred vent, you're not actually there to get any solutions. You're not there to solve the problem. What you're really there to do is acknowledge and accept and really be with any feelings of anger, resentment, bitterness, judgment, that these are aspects of all of us, and that if we try to suppress them and ignore them and pretend that they are not there, that actually feeds our ego and it feeds the shadow beast within us. So this is a way of transmuting some of those feelings, actually giving them permission to be heard, to be acknowledged. And then after I have had a beautiful sacred vent, I'm actually going to reflect back and take responsibility and say, what is it that I can do about these situations? So I had a rather difficult conversation with my 4-year-old and clarify the situation, and that has totally changed the day that I've had today. Yesterday was not like this, okay? So I guess I really want to suggest that the woe is me, judged though it may be, holds a sacred component for our power, and that it is held in composite with the change agent. And I'm a big believer in jurisdiction, and that if there is something I'm not happy with in my own life, is that I can really step into my power and I can change that. Obviously, we live in a global world, and so I'm very, very mindful and conscious for all the highly sensitive and empaths of the world that we are exposed to problems that are horrific for our heart. And many of you know that I've chosen to have a very strict media diet where I don't expose myself to these things, so I can really stick to my jurisdiction of me and my relationship with myself, my own life, my own husband and our relationship, as well as my own relationship with my children and my role as a parent, and then my role in my business and in my community to really help and support and do the very best that I can for the people that are within my jurisdiction. And I'm expressing this because if we don't have boundaries and guidelines, I studied world politics, so I know the migraines, the nausea, the insomnia, the heartache, and the heart-wrenching pain that can engulf us if we don't really narrow our focus on our limited sphere of jurisdiction and power. So, having said all of that, I would really love to hear what you honestly feel about the sacred vent. And what I want to suggest is that before you tell me, please give it a go. Really just take some paper. And even if you just write down some of the feelings that you're feeling are complaining or are negative, really allowing yourself just to write them down, witness them and acknowledge them, and see how you feel after. I'd love for you to try the sacred vent. This is a regular self-care practice for myself. And I hope that as a suggestion, I might be able to serve and support you. I'm very mindful that we have very, very burdened hearts. We have exposure to problems and experiences that people are having, places that we've never been to, that we don't know anyone there. And it can be very, very confronting to see some of the perceptions that are being put before our eyes every day. And so I want to send my love out to you and help you to understand that I'm deeply feeling just like you, and that it does affect me as well. And that's why I love having these sacred protocols. I can vent my little heart out and I can come back to my personal power. And I know you know this, and I just want to remind you that you do have so much power to be able to create so much change in your own life and in the lives of your own family and your own community. And may we relish and twirl in delight, relishing the sacred power that each of us has. And I believe absolutely that by playing our part, that we absolutely make a difference. And I'd love to hear how this week's Heart Magic Monday has resonated for you. Please comment below if this has touched you, or if you would like to sacred vent, or you have had a sacred vent. I think that woe is me has been in the shadows for far too long, and it's time to be able to bring it back into the light for a sacred vent and really access the change agent within us all. If you are a sacred healer and helper in this world, if you know that you're here to make a difference and you're new to my channel, I'd love to invite you to subscribe. If you want to hear more about how we really can amplify our power, how we really can define our niche, and really utilize our gifts and talents to truly make a difference, you're going to love seeing more episodes from me. So I release them every Monday. I'm really thankful for your time. Thank you for being here. And if you have liked this, please give it a big thumbs up so that this video can reach more other precious hearts, and they can remember that they have permission to have a sacred vent too. My love is with you all, and I hope you have a magical week. I'll see you back next week. Love from Lysa.